Hello guys, welcome to another video of chapter 265 of Jujutsu Kaisen spoilers. So today the spoilers got leaked and this might be one of the greatest or craziest or trollest chapter of all times in Jujutsu Kaisen. I had so much hope or so much hype for what's going to happen, but then of course Gege is in his traditional fashion form decided to slap the shit out of us with the biggest troll ever possible. Anyways, let's start. Thanks to Miyamura sensei for the leaks of Jujutsu Kaisen. With that being said, let's start. The chapter title is That Day. So it begins as they stroll through a city. Sukuna realizes what's happening with him, a rare phenomenon when Yuji connects with a sorcerer during a battle. So Sukuna asks if this Yuji's domain. Yuji says he just wanted to talk with Sukuna for a bit. Then Sukuna asks, what is this? Is this really your domain? As he just immediately got teleported or summoned to this new train station or the city. Yuji just tell him to shut up. He was desperate, so he doesn't even know what this is, and all he wanted is to talk to him. So let's talk for a little bit. And this is pretty much reminds me of what happens to Megumi when he first casted his domain expansion versus special cursed spirit, as in most users don't know what their domain does at the first time, and it's not even guaranteed 100% that the domain is completed. So it's pretty much always not refined, not complete, and pretty much no idea what's going to happen in it. So I'm not surprised that Yuji still doesn't understand what his domain is all about. And this is where the chapter goes crazy for me, that as they go through an underground passage, Yuji starts telling Sukuna about his childhood, that he was born in Sendai but he lived around here when he was 6 or 7 until he moved back to Sendai because of his grandpa's work. And then Yuji tells Sukuna that he came back after 10 years to attend his grandpa's friend's funeral. I wouldn't say there was a huge drop in the population, but I was still in surprise because he wonders if that guy would have come to attend the funeral if his grandpa's died first. And as it said, Sukuna is actually speechless to hear Yuji yap about this shit. Then Yuji proceeds to tell Sukuna that he dropped his slime in the sand, he tried to wash it in the sink, he cried when it went all in the drain, and Yuji then takes Sukuna to a park. He says all the play equipment is gone, but when he got his leg stuck in the swing, he thought he was gonna die, but it can't be helped, I guess. After that, Yuji spots a flower and says, hey, it's Asagao flower. Sukuna says, no, it's Ajisai, moron. Then Yuji says, I know that already, he was just being careless. And then Yuji tells Sukuna that he didn't know he knew these flowers' names. So he asks Sukuna, how did you know about the flowers? That's when Sukuna says it's probably for Megumi's memories. And then it hits Yuji that he realizes that Sukuna must know about all these places since he was already in Yuji's body. So he knows his background. So all of these stories that Yuji is telling Sukuna, he already knows them because he had the memories of them. But then Sukuna rebukes him by saying, no, it was just a waste of time to read your useless memories. So he just doesn't care enough about Yuji to go dive in and take all of his information. Yuji then takes Sukuna to catch some crawfish, and he gives Sukuna to try it. Or the strongest sorcerers can't even catch a crawfish. It was a nice attempt from Yuji to taunt Sukuna. Then Sukuna of course tells him to shut up. Sukuna catches one, but they start a fight about who caught a bigger crawfish. Sukuna says yours is smaller. Pause. That's what she said, right? Then Yuji tells him yours is an American crawfish. Mine is Japanese one. Mine is rarer. Like, bro, at this point I don't even know why I'm reading this chapter, to be honest. Like, it broke my spirit. All the hype I had is just gone. What are we doing right here? This is the guy that killed your teacher, entrapped your best friend, made him depressed, shattered and broken, killed literally the entire Jujutsu characters, slapped the shit around of Maki, Todo, Yuta, every senpai of yours, and all you tell him is, let's go catch some flowers, let's go catch some fishes. What JJ, what's going on, buddy? What's happening? I can't even take this chapter serious at this point. Anyways, let's continue. After that, Yuji talks about this department store that opened when he was like 5 years old. All the independent stores went out of business thanks to it. It's sad that the shop in district became shuttered, but he forgave them because there is a movie theater above here. And then he says it's an overall great countryside, but if you move away a bit from the city, there's a lot of green, so you don't worry. And Sukuna tells him I wasn't worried about anything from the start. So Sukuna still doesn't care what's going on this domain anyways, since Yuji just won't shut up. Yuji then takes Sukuna to a field. See, look, it's everyone says green as far as the eyes can see. Yuji used to catch all the flowers and the rice in the rice fields, but he doesn't see them around lately. So he's wondering if the pesticide killed everything. And then Yuji says the ice cream here was so good, I used all my allowances on the ice cream here that day when he grew up. So Sukuna says, you didn't have a brain from back then. I mean, he definitely doesn't have it now. And then Yuji tells him, oh, let's do some archery. I just can't. Where are we going with this chapter? Why all of this? Fishing, archery, taking a park. Is this a date or what? Then Yuji and Sukuna starts to play archery, and Sukuna shoots a perfect 10 score. Yuji, of course, is surprised, telling him you are not cute at all, as if you are trying hard and really going for the kill or the 10. And then Sukuna just tells him, of course, I'm more experienced than you. And it made sense to Yuji, since Sukuna is actually from the high-end era where archery was very common at that point. Yuji still talks and blabbles about how he likes the snow, how he starts his day with that, and he used to shower in the morning. He loved drinking hot tea milk, and then during the Christmas he once heard the sound of bells at night and had believed that Santa truly exists, only to find out that the sound was of some chains or a car. And then Sukuna gets really fed up with Yuji's talk. I mean, we all got fed up with Yuji's talk, not just Sukuna. And then Sukuna just says, get to the point already, as Yuji answers him, I think I have already showed you what I wanted to show you anyways. So Sukuna says, it's all messy and disgusting, what are you even trying to say? And then Yuji says that I used to think till recently that understanding and fulfilling my role is what it meant to live, and when I died fulfilling my role, I could just truly say that I died the right way, but now I feel a little different about it. He continues to say that your role can be really anything, like walking the dog or to nurture your family, even without such things, even if it's just to eat, take a shit, sleep, or if you are bedridden with illness, with your life not connecting with anyone and leaving nothing behind. Yuji says that the value of a person's life in the fragments of memories that float somewhere, even if they are smaller than the memories that shape a person. And that's when Yuji says, it's not the problem of how you die, it's just I couldn't forgive those who act if that value doesn't exist. And then Yuji tells Sukuna that he doesn't like you, and humans aren't tools, so it's not like our roles are determined from the beginning. Then Yuji tells him that whether good or bad, you can't really tell if either is truly a human. I might be the one that's wrong, that's why I wanted to at least make sure that you knew about the other people whom you can't find value in besides yourself. And Sukuna replies that he still doesn't feel anything. And this is the same thing that Sukuna talked about versus his fight with Kashimo, right about he kills him, that he tells him that he doesn't care about what no one says. He just sees sorcerers and humans as just like tastes or different flavors that he just wants to taste and have and dismantle and kill before his times to come. He knows that one day he will die anyways, so he doesn't care about no one but satisfying his hunger and his desires. If he wants to kill, he kill. If he wants to eat, he eats. And this is his philosophy. He's always alone, not because he is alone that no one wants to hang out with him, but he's alone because he understands all these feelings, knows them, and that's why he accepts them and understands that no one has any other value than himself and nothing matters besides having or satisfying himself. So it totally makes sense. And that's why Sukuna tells Yuji that I understand everything you are trying to say, and even after that I don't feel anything. And he tells him that it's like the same way you accepted the decline of this city from being very populated and open to now being shuttered, to just saying, well, that's probably the case, so what? Things just happen and the decline is meant to be. And that's what Sukuna is trying to tell him, which made Yuji says he failed just as he thought. And Sukuna says, if I had to say, your cowardice is astonishing. And then Yuji says, was your anger and hatred toward me was really only to that extent? And this question is basically Yuji asking Sukuna that he never cared about him. He always showed him that he's bothered and annoyed by him, but not to the point that it really mattered. That's why Sukuna never acknowledged or admitted Yuji whatsoever. And that's when Sukuna suddenly realizes something, and he tells Yuji, could it be that you are pitying me? Are you trying to show me sympathy? We see the statue of Buddha as Sukuna asks that to Yuji. And this could mean so much right here. Of course, Sukuna is disgusted at the fact that Yuji is pitying him as he lived his life alone, no one to fight for, no one to die for, absolutely zero value to everything around him beside himself. So it can be a very lonely life to live. That's why he's pitying him. But the fact that we see the statue of Buddha as Sukuna asked that to Yuji, does that mean Yuji is actually Buddha, which could symbolize that Yuji reached the status of balance? Or it could mean that Sukuna now is at the hands of Buddha, so he gets to die or basically lost already. I would love to see how the panel looks like so I can have a better idea how this actually interpreted. Then Yuji suddenly turns hostile as he declares to Sukuna, that's right Sukuna, I have the ability to kill you right now. So release Fushiguro, if you come back to me, I'll spare your life. This is a very big bold claim from Yuji. But doesn't this mean that Sukuna can play this to his side though? Because if Yuji cannot kill him because he's afraid that Megumi will die as well, then Sukuna can always play this to his advantages, knowing full well that Yuji will never be able to kill Sukuna because he will have to sacrifice his friend. That means that Sukuna can just go for the kill without having to fear for his life that much, unless we see how this plays out. So Sukuna is fully enraged as Yuji threatens him. How dare he? It seems like you are having severe misunderstanding. I won't settle for just slicing you into pieces. I will kill everyone right in front of your eyes that you ever cared about and hold value for. And this is where the chapter ends, and next week it's a break, not because of Gege but because of the magazine. But at least what I think for the last part of what Sukuna says, I'm really happy that Sukuna was still very 100% determined that not just killing Yuji is enough, but he will slice and kill everyone in front of him. I'm really happy that this isn't some type of talk no jutsu shit from Naruto. Sukuna is still 100% determined on slicing and killing everyone, and that I like. Of course we know that Sukuna will die eventually because that's how the plot is written, but I would love to see Sukuna not regretting anything while enjoying himself 100% until he dies, literally just as he said. With that being said, I don't know what to say. I'm kinda underwhelmed by this chapter. I was expecting a lot more, but Gege just decided to give us a whole fucking childhood resume of Yuji. I didn't care. I don't give a shit about that, but maybe you guys will have fun in it. With that being said, thank you guys for sticking around for the chapter. I hope you liked it, and see you next time.